Bonjour à tous et à toutes, c'est Paul 2372. Je suis pour un nouveau let's play sur What Remains of Edith Finch. Je viens de lancer le jeu, ça commence direct. Ça quand même. Et c'est jouable à la manette. Oh, this is a journal.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you.
Graphisme.
And I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Donc c'est un jeu gratuit sur le launcher d'Epic Games, c'est pour ça que je l'ai installé. Et je mange des chips en même temps. Et le jeu c'est pas un jeu d'horreur.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Graphiquement c'est plutôt pas mal. Ça se joue à la manette.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
La boîte aux lettres est très stylée.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Je n'ai pas de vous depuis l'enterrement de mon frère Lewis. Apparemment c'est parti en stop.
In her will, my mother left me a key but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Et là, il y a Slender derrière un arbre.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do.
Pas la nature ici.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
On a affaire à la maison de Squeezie.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Ok, la maison fait peur.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Je suppose que ça doit être la clé de derrière. Hein. En général, on passe pas par le toit pour rentrer dans une maison. cas, il y a des jolies fleurs.
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
Oui, quand même. Super. Ouais, c'est une façon
Crawling
d'entrer.
through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
C'est une façon comme une autre de rentrer dans une maison, j'ai envie de vous dire.
The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Ça fait beaucoup de conserves quand même.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Une porte scellée. Qu'y a-t-il dedans?
Edie told me once that every finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Ah, c'est pas du tout glauque. Ma maman m'a toujours dit qu'on enterrait les cadavres dans le jardin.
After Milton disappeared,
Parce que ça faisait
Mom
plan
sealed
gré.
up all the
C'était
bedrooms.
génial.
Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Ah, bête de mort là-dessus.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Sven Oswald Finch, 1915-1964, Eddie, 1917-2010. Je sais pas parler. Ok, oh, il a vécu 11 ans le
My
pauvre.
Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Oh la vache. Grégory, qui a vécu 1 an.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Des portraits de petites filles bizarres et le portrait de tonton Dracula. C'est vraiment glauque. Bonjour. Molly, 10 ans.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Oh la vache.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Très jolie chambre. Il y a du loup.
Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Un livre. Yeah.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Yeah.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door.
Oh, la chambre à Molly, c'est ça? Je crois.
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
J'ai cru qu'il y avait encore le truc de... Dans le tiroir, j'étais en mode ouais. Une étoile de mer. Un papillon. Des scorpions en bouteille. C'est très bizarre. C'est très chelou. C'est un aquarium.
December 13th, 1947.
Je vous laisse lire.
Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner.
Alors que si tu foutais le
I
bordel
woke up
aussi.
and I was starving,
Comment me dire?
so I looked
On
around
les
for
connaît, les
something
petites filles
to
comme
eat.
toi. Hein. Non, pas le
The
hamster.
gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Ah, berk.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Oh, c'est triste. Le poisson, le poisson. On va manger le poisson. Oh non, c'est horrible. Oh non.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Ouais, quand même. Je veux dire, on va pas manger un poisson, c'est horrible. C'est de bain. Ah non, c'est dégueulasse.
I kept eating and eating.
Oh oui, le bon vieux dentifrice. Yum. Bon dentifrice. Une erreur qui est 4 fois plus grand que moi.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Ah, c'est bon ça, le goût. C'est pas du tout du poisson en plus, c'est ça qui est bien. C'est ça qui est génial.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Oui.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
Petite, c'est pas une bonne idée. On sait tous les deux, petite, que c'est pas une bonne
And
idée.
suddenly,
Les enfants, c'est pas bien
I
la
was a
drogue.
cat.
Miaou, je vais te bouffer.
I tried to be quiet, but the
C'est
bird
un
was
oiseau,
really
là.
scared.
Des oiseaux. Les enfants, c'est pas bien la drogue.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Voilà ce qui se passe quand vous mangez du lit, les copains. Il est où? Il est là-haut. Je vais t'attraper, je vais te faire la peau. Non. Si? Oui, et ensuite. Yeah! Je me mets en sneak. Hop! Jumpy cat! Ah, peut-être. Oh. Je vais te bouffer. Oh. Je vais te bouffer. Viens. Viens, petit oiseau.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Et là, c'est le drame.
I could tell she was getting really tired.
Et là, la branche.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Oui, mais là, manger des oiseaux vivants, madame, c'est un peu bizarre. Déjà que tu te transformes en chat, donc ça, c'est pas chelou. Hein. Ne faites jamais d'enfants, les gars.
I gobbled her up,
Ah!
and suddenly I was an owl.
Waouh!
First, all I heard was the wind.
Pas bien là.
Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Ça, je sais faire ça. Taillon!
Rabbits.
Rabbits! Rabbits!
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit.
On mange pas des
And then
lapins!
I flew off to find something bigger.
C'est ici que la chouette se jeta sur un mur.
A mama rabbit.
Rabbits! This is my rabbits! Rabbits! Rabbits!
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Bah oui, bah oui. En fait, là, ce qu'elle me raconte, c'est qu'elle est tombée de l'arbre, et puis elle est tombée de la colline. Et puis elle est morte. Genre, elle a déroulé comme ça de la colline, et puis elle arrive en bas.
I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Subnautica. S'il te plaît.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
On va manger du phoque, les copains. Ok. Hey, c'est le phoque. Il est où? Viens ici. Je t'attrape ou je te bouffe. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Oh, fiche simulateur. Le phoque. Je sais pas
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
C'est monté. C'est monté.
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. Passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
On s'amuse sur un chaîne de poil. Non, elle va se bouffer.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
En fait, elle s'est fait dévorer. C'est horrible. Monsieur, c'est quoi ce jeu? Ils couchent pas à tous? Non. Tu sais, j'ai eu peur qu'une tentacule de poulpe bizarre de 300 mètres de long vienne et passe par la cuvette des toilettes. Ils fassent des mouvements comme ça bizarres tout autour. C'est horrible. Oh, j'adore les toilettes. Enfant. Qu'est-ce que tu fais, Lojo? Ah, avec les bruits en plus. Non, mais Lojo! Lojo! Tu te calmes! Oh la tentacule! Mais qu'est-ce que tu fais? Quand même.
I got closer and closer. all my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Oula! C'est ainsi que Molly mourut. Tristement. Mangé par une espèce de tentacule bizarre qui ressemblait à rien.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors. I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Ah, c'est horrible. J'avais l'impression que des parties de Molly étaient encore ici. Le monstre n'avait pas bien fait son travail. Il avait laissé des bouts. C'est dégueulasse. Un jour, j'aimerais sortir. Avant de mourir, ça serait pas mal de sortir en fait. D'accord, je ne sortirai pas. Je suis condamnée à mourir.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Lewis, 1988, 2006.
Her room was like a museum.
Ah, il y a un nain.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Oh, c'est trop bien.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Ok, bah là il y a Papa le bûcheron. Ah ouais, ok, le mec est mort.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
But 1937, Sven Finch.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Dragon kill Finch. Aïe.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
C'est la chambre de qui, ça? Ah oui, Grégory. Vive les bébés morts.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Oui,
It was a pretty big trace.
C'est une pièce de très mauvais goût. Des médicaments et une baignoire. On aime les baignoires.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
J'avoue, moi aussi, j'ai déjà vu...
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
D'accord. Donc Edith, c'était la grand-mère de la famille, elle était sympa. Jusqu'à ce qu'il la laisse mourir. En se barrant, bien évidemment. Parce que cette famille, voilà.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Et ensuite, je fais quoi? Oh non, c'est horrible. Dorpy 1968-1981. Ah ouais, même les oiseaux. Même quoi? Un serpent? Ah, c'est Bob qui a bouffé la petite. Non, c'est pas normal. Ça peut pas. Dorpy peut-être. Oui, peut-être. Ah, c'est peut-être. Non, c'est pas possible non plus. Oh, chocolate patches. This is a chocolate. Just as a chocolate in the bathroom by Sven and Eddie Finch. No. Oh.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
C'est pratique. Ouais, c'est une salle de photos. Wow. Wow. Alors, en fait, il trempait un peu les photos dans un liquide bizarre. Après, il les accrochait et puis en fait, c'était une salle noire, je sais plus comment c'était, une chambre noire, non, je sais plus. Genre, en fait, à l'époque, il fallait faire ça pour que les photos restent gravées, sinon ça marchait pas, un truc comme ça. Hop. Voilà, là, c'est la chambre à Squeezie. Regarde, là, il fait des lives. Voilà.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
Le mec, il est devenu astronaute.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Calvin!
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
J'adore la balançoire. Ah, eh, mais ça joue comme une vraie balançoire!
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't.
Et d'ailleurs, là-bas, on voit la maison d'Audin. Vive la balançoire! Wouhou!
I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
J'adore ça! Ça, c'est du gameplay, ça. Ça, on aime. On aime ce genre de gameplay. Moi, j'adore. J'adore faire de la balançoire pendant 3h30. C'est tellement bien. Attends, s'ils pouvaient mettre ces scènes-là dans tous les jeux vidéo. Call of Duty, tu mets une scène de balançoire. Fortnite, une scène de balançoire. Ah, j'ai compris comment ça fonctionnait. Ça fonctionne comme une vraie balançoire. Wouhou. Ça, c'est du gameplay.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
C'est dangereux. Ah, quelle idée de construire une balançoire en bord de la falaise.
I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Balançoire en bord d'une falaise avec une clôture nulle. Les gars, mais vous faites exprès aussi. Si on a l'habitude, c'est normal hein, si vous faites ça.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Fais gaffe à la branche ou au petit, j'ai entendu un truc bizarre. Je dirais que c'est normal, t'inquiète pas. Je suis spécialiste en balançoire. Wouhou! Vers l'infini, l'au-delà, comme dirait Post Claire. Wouh! Oui! Et le 360!
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Vous faites l'attraction de Disneyland. Vous pouvez découvrir cet été, bien évidemment. Allez! Sans les menthes! Et là, il va du plafond, ça va faire pas possible ça, comment il fait pour tenir? Le petit, il fait de la muscu. Oh non, j'adore. C'est trop bien comme gameplay. Wouhou! Heureusement que c'est pas un arbre avec des petits, parce que sinon ça me ferait un peu mal. Ouais! 360!
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
En fait, il a plané pendant 20 mètres, et puis après, il s'est fouté par terre méchamment, il est mort. J'explique pour
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Ah.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Mais c'est horrible. Ouah, le mec qui tuait des animaux. Ouah, trop bien. Enfin non, mais enfin ouais. Si. Bon allez. Ça passe. Ouah, comment le petit il est mort, il a fait un 360 en balançoire. Et oui. Prochaine fois que je vais chez mes grands-parents, on essaye. Si vous voyez plus de vidéos sur la chaîne, c'est normal. Je suis mort suite à un 360 en balançoire. C'était pas une bonne idée. C'était visiblement pas une bonne idée en fait. Faut se barrer par où? Marc, c'est quoi? Je vais rester dans les toilettes. Allez, vas-y, passe. Oh. Attends, t'as 17 ans.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Je comprends rien ce que tu dis, il n'y a pas les sous-titres. Il y a peut-être un passage par là, ouais. Waouh, comme dans les films. Waouh. Enfin, dans les films, c'est pas ça, mais c'est pareil, c'est un passage secret. J'adorerais une maison comme ça. Génial. Génial. Vive les maisons de passage secret. Et déjà dans la maison, je fais des passages secrets comme ça moi aussi. Hein. C'est vénère. Hein.
passages were a pretty tight fit.
Tout va bien, je passe.
They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
T'inquiète pas, à 17 ans, moi aussi je fais ça. Et ceux qui font pas ça, c'est nul. Voilà. Oh non. Wow, Bigfoot!
Growing up, I always thought of
Bigfoot.
Barbara as a child star.
Bigfoot. I love Bigfoot.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Bigfoot. Ah, Berk. Il est périmé le gâteau. Oh, je crois. 1944-1960. Oh. That fool
Of all the stories
story.
people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Tout a commencé à Aldersbrunn.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child
She's a
star,
story of-
Barbara was famous for her scream.
Pour son cri.
Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just a
L'occasion
boost for
inespérée pour elle de
career.
relancer sa carrière.
Unfortunately, her scream
Malheureusement,
hadn't
son cri n'avait
aged
pas très bien
well.
vieilli.
Getting better.
C'est
I think
nul.
you just need the right
Je crois qu'il
motivation.
te manque juste un peu
Her
de
biggest
motivation.
fan
Son plus grand
and
fan
current
et
boyfriend,
petit ami de
Rick,
temps, Rick allait
was
lui
about
montrer
to
comment faire.
demonstrate when...
Lorsque...
Now that was a great scream.
Alors, ça,
It
c'est
was
un peu-
Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Oh non.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned.
Peut-être parce qu'il est
So
mort.
Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
Comme par hasard. Barbara se
She
fait
reached for
sauvagement
the music
poignarder.
box,
Oh oui.
and as she wound the key,
Moulin,
she
moulin.
listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Je descendis soudain par les escaliers. Quand soudain, Michel, il y avait des
She
traces de sang.
found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Rick is dying! No! Oh oui. Ah oui.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Dégage! Allez, vire!
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Ah! Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
Oh.
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there?
Ah! Je me fais agresser.
I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead,
panique.
Walter.
Nous panique, bien évidemment. Il y a ton petit frère qui crie, qui fait à l'aide, pas de panique. Ça. En tout cas, c'est très bien fait le mode jeu Telltale. Ah! C'était pas du tout survu en plus. J'ai vraiment eu peur. Non, mais c'est comme ça qu'on veut pas. Donc là.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and
Et c'est le meurtre.
was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
Je suis pas signé pour ça, moi, monsieur. J'ai pas les clous. Dégage. Démon. Oh. This is a father of Molly.
She played her part beautifully.
Non, dégage. Occupé.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
Mais heureusement que le méchant était débile. C'est pas.
It wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Zip. Tiens, les cassettes. Oh, c'est très bien ça comme photo.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Oh mon Dieu, un événement scénaristique.
At the door,
Patte à la main, elle ouvrait la porte et cogna son petit ami.
it was coming from inside the house.
Salut.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true.
Ouais.
Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Toujours à toute épreuve, bien évidemment. C'est moi en fait, le gars. C'est moi le gars.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
J'espère que cette vidéo vous aura plu. Je ferai la fin plus tard. Bye.